maybe mid-June during the heat advisory is not the best time to do a little backpacking trip in Oklahoma. But we're starting at 7:20 p.m. We only have a mile and a half to get to the campsite. There's a little bridge that we can go over for our mom and daughter mini adventure. We're trail leading the other direction too. Oh, there's a trail that leads the other direction too. I guess we should check the map. And we enter the wilderness area. Well, after a slightly uncomfortably warm night, we are enjoying the sunrise up here in the Wichita Mountains. It's been kind of a magical morning. We had an elk out in this pasture beyond the pond, and we heard a male bugling, but we saw a female. And we're also watching a chickadee family and a pair of painted buntings. We've heard a great horned owl, and the Chuck-Will's widows have been calling pretty much since sunset last night, and they're still going. And the flowers are blooming, and we watch the sunrise come up through that little notch in the mountains just perfectly. We're looking over, this is Elk Mountain, which we're thinking about going up later today. We heard coyotes in the night. The frogs called from this little pond all night. You can see little turtle heads sticking up. There's a coolish breeze this morning. So we're going to head back down to the little campsite, which is right down in these little trees. You can't see the tent. We got the green color, which I'm pleased about, so no bright orange shining through those trees. And we're going to have some breakfast. Even though it's kind of warm for oatmeal, it's traditional breakfast for camping for us. So we're having our oatmeal down here at the edge of the pond. In the distance you can see the crab eyes. I'm letting my oatmeal cool. It's still too hot. Oh, I can hear a woodpecker on these dead trees over here. Oh, it's some little flycatcher just landed right in front of me. Back there's a little kitchen. After a somewhat leisurely morning, we are mostly packed up and ready to get back on the trail. It's about 7:35. It's already getting warm. I'm a little nervous about getting into the sun, but we put on our sunscreen, we got our hats, and we'll be ready to go up to Crab Eyes and then to Post Oak Falls. It was a good little campsite. We'll have to come back when maybe in the fall. This will be a nice spot. Well, the last little bit of the trail is a bit of a scramble, but there you can see the crab eyes. Let's see. So we're having a little snack here with the crab eyes in our view. The trail continues on, and it looks like it just kind of scrambles up that little ravine. We don't feel the need to scramble up that ravine anymore since we have such a nice view of the crab eyes here. So we're having our snack. We're going to turn around and head to Post Oak Falls. We are totally soaked in sweat, and it feels very humid, which is unusual for the Wichita Mountains, or at least in my experience. Here along the trail we have some monarda or bee balm. It's buzzing with pollinators, little bee flies. Oh, lots of cool bee flies and bumblebees. We made it to Post Oak Falls. Big pool with some big sunfish down in there. The water's nice and cool. Came back down from Post Oak Falls, and here's the trail sign that says Wilderness Trail to Sunset Trailhead this way. Looks a bit of a scramble, but we'll make it. Going back a slightly different way than we came. We didn't see this as we were coming down. Cool little canyon. So this is along the Charon's Garden Trail. There's several rock overhangs that create these little caves. Just a big jumble of rocks. That big brown one right there. Wow. But it's noisy during the thunderstorm. It is scary to think of all these rocks just tumbling off the mountain. Here's the apple and the pear. We just passed a bunch of jumbly rocks with their caves in. It is hot and steamy. We are sweating like crazy, but we've only seen 2 people today. So if you want summer solitude, this is the place to go. And these little oak trees are black-capped vireos. Recently on the endangered species list, but I think they've been removed because their populations have recovered so well. Okay, here we are leaving the wilderness. It was a good, how many hours were we in there? We got here at 7:30 and it's
1:05.
1:05.
Ow.
Oh, we'll do the math. Right now our brains are a little boiled. It was a good mini adventure. Okay, we're refreshing ourselves with our watermelon that was in a cooler in the car. We're all done after our 18.5-hour mini adventure in the Wichita Mountains and the Charon's Garden Wilderness area. So, 0 to 10, how do you rank this miniature adventure?
A 7.
A 7. I think I would go almost 8 or 9. I think really the only thing that makes it not a 10 was it being so warm.
Yeah, that's why I docked 3 points.
3 whole points for being warm.
Okay, maybe 7.5.
7.5. But it was a good adventure. We saw elk, coyote, black-capped vireos,
Bison.
bats, lots of fungus, beautiful wildflowers. We only saw 3 people on the trail until we passed a family as we were coming back in the last half mile. And they called the big jumble of rocks that created all those caves the Valley of the Boulders, which makes sense. So, and I think technically they're not caves, they are rock shelters. So, but it was a good trip. I'm glad we did it. We wouldn't have been able to see the kind of wildlife we saw and the wildflowers if we didn't come out in the summer. So maybe we'll have to make a few more summer adventures. Recommend again?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll come back in the fall though.